All right, if I can have your attention, we'll get started. We'll begin with Reverend Wilbur Flynn leading us in our invocation.
Would you bow your heads, please? Father God, in the name of Jesus, we come this evening, first of all, saying thank you for your mercy, your grace, your love, your kindness, and your understanding. God, we say thank you for who you are and for what you've done. You are mighty, wonderful, gracious, kind, caring, and loving Father. And God, we give you praise and we give you glory, God, for who you are and for what you've done. God, we ask you in the name of Jesus that you will give this school board and these administrators and teachers wisdom and knowledge to lead, guide, and direct these students, dear Heavenly Father. God, we know that we cannot do anything without you. You're the reason that we exist. You are the reason that we have our being. And God, we just thank you, Father, for all that you do. Without you, God, we're nothing, but with you, God, we're everything. You're the reason we exist. You're the reason we move and have our being. And God, we just say thank you for the school board. We thank you for our teachers, our support people, our administrators. God, we thank you for them. And we thank you for all that you do. Keep them safe. Watch out for them, protect them, lead, guide, and direct them, and have them be what you would have them to be in the name of Jesus. And God, whatever we do, we always make sure that we give you the praise and we give you the glory and we give you the honor. In Jesus' name, we thank you, Father. We love you and we adore you, and we magnify and we lift your name upon high, and we give you praise, we give you glory, and we give you honor. In Jesus' name, thank you, Lord. Amen.
Thank you. Call the meeting to order. We will begin with roll call of members. Colonel Jans? Here. Matt Lohman?
Here.
Joe Blackwood?
Here.
Randy Long?
Present.
Chad Mance? Here. Kim Tinius?
Here.
Tori Turnbow?
Here.
And Matt Sampson.
Here.
Okay, that takes us to presentations. Jan?
Our spotlight student tonight is from Hoover Elementary School, and I'm going to have Miss Thompson come and introduce her. She is a pre-K student at Hoover, so she's being very brave this evening. So, Miss Thompson, I'll let you tell us about her.
Stand up on the box. Stand right there, sweetie. This is my friend Adeline, and she is proud to be a Hoover Hornet. She recently has mastered all her letters and sounds, so she's in our alphabet club. She's our little social butterfly and makes friends with everybody and just loves to learn new things every day.
Please stand.
Good job. Okay, wait 1 second. See, you're going to bring the flags in back there. See right there. Who's that? Ours? Okay, now. Pledge of Allegiance.
Join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Come over here. We'll take your picture. Over here.
Mr. Mance.
Adeline, that was a great job. Mom, if you want to come up here and take a picture, you can walk up here. Let's give Adeline a round of applause. That was great.
Well, it's hard to top that. She was pretty awesome. Our next spotlight student is from Longfellow Middle School, and Mr. John Mitchell's going to introduce.
Good evening. This is Mitzi Morales. She's an 8th grader getting ready to head off to the high school. In 6th grade, she was identified by our teachers as a potential leader in the school, and they nailed it. She has done a great job with us over the past 3 years. She's helped out each year with Top 5 dinner and graduation, and then now this year it's time for her to participate in the Top 5 dinner and graduation. So I'll let her tell you a little bit about herself.
Hello everyone, I just want to tell you about my experience at school. I enjoy school because it is much more than just a place to learn. It is a vibrant community that that fosters my growth and development every day. At school, I have the opportunity to discover new ideas and learn valuable skills that help shape who I am becoming. Each day brings new lessons, whether it's solving challenging problems in math with Mr. Logan, conducting experiments in science with Mrs. Ingle, exploring important moments in history with Mr. Buckles, or improving my writing and reading in ELA with Mrs. Regal. Beyond academics, I have the chance to connect with friends, collaborate on group projects, and participate in activities I enjoy, such as soccer and leadership club. These opportunities not only allow me to have fun, but also teach me valuable life skills like discipline, responsibility, and teamwork. Overall, my school provides an environment where I can grow as a person, explore my passions, and prepare for a successful future at Enid High School. Thank you.
Great job, Mitzi.
Great job. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Chad Miller to come and join us and bring Mr. Fee with him to let us celebrate.
Good evening. I want to go ahead and introduce 8th grader Alexander Fee. He was a state champion in middle school wrestling. This was with the 8th and 9th graders in the 113-pound weight class. We're just very proud of him and his hard work and perseverance through this. It's a great accomplishment for him.
I think Coach Clayton's here. Coach Clayton, why don't you come down here and get in the picture? You're his coach this year. Congratulations to you, too.
Great job, Xander. Our next presentation, Coach Katie Botts, our swim coach at Enid High School, is going to tell us about some of her swimmers and call them up, and we'll give them some certificates.
Hello. This year we have 12 swimmers who have qualified at regionals to go to state, 6 boys and 6 girls. The 2 boys relays that are going are the 200 medley and the 400 free, and then we have 3 individual events. Taylor Higbee with the 100 breaststroke and the 200 IM, and Joseph Higbee in the 500. Boys, if you want to come up here, please. And then we have 6 girls that are here. 6 girls that qualified, 4 of them are here. 1 is at a college visit to KU, and the other is probably running because she's very dedicated. The girls also qualified in 2 relays, the 200 freestyle and the 400 freestyle, and then we have Lila Brown who qualified in the 100 breaststroke also individually. Girls, if you want to come up here. Please. Anyway, I couldn't be prouder of these young men and women. They have worked really, really hard this year and put up with me and have done a lot of yards in the pool. at various speeds together. So I'm going to introduce them individually and then in the order of these certificates. So, okay, so we have Jack Denny, who's a senior, Joseph Higbee, a sophomore, Taylor Higbee, who's a senior, Levi Lundaby, a freshman, Ellis Teidenberg, a sophomore, and Ryder Simpson, a senior. And then our girls are Lila Brown, senior, Cassidy Lebeda, who is not present. She's a junior. Lauren Lundaby, she's a senior, not present. Meredith Plummer, junior. Britzy Salcedo de la Torre, senior. And Sophie Shoptis, senior.
Congratulations and the best luck this coming weekend in the state. Boys and girls, outstanding job.
Did everybody get a picture that wanted one? Okay. Our next recognition, I'm going to let Mr. Liddell come and tell us about Lawton Avance, who will be our Enid High School valedictorian this year.
Thank you, Ms. Jane. Good evening, Dr. Darrell, board members. And yeah, it was with great pride and very special spot for this young man, but Enid High School senior for class of 2026 valedictorian. He's the son of Rebecca Avance and Austin Avance. I'm going to invite Lauren Avance up to the mic, and he's got a nice speech that he's going to share with you guys.
Hello, my name is Lawton Avance, as was previously stated, and I'm the valedictorian of the 2026 class at Enid High School. My journey thus far has been a very long one. Before my freshman year, I didn't care very much for academics, and personally, I had B's and C's during middle school, which is something that's not very heard of from a valedictorian. As I went into my freshman year, I started focusing on taking honors and had reached technically second in my class, though I was tied with many other people. Then, as I went into my sophomore year, I was able to take 2 AP classes and was finally, in a more accurate grading, placed 13th in my class. Then came my junior year. I had taken 6 AP classes last year, with 2 AP Maths, 2 AP Sciences, AP Literature, and AP US History. I had spent many nights without sleep. It was a large undertaking. However, at the end of the junior year, I had found myself in first place. This year, going on to more current events, I participate in 2 main programs. I participate in the esports program at EHS and the OSSM program, which is located at Autry Technology Center as a regional branch of the Oklahoma Science and Mathematics School that is in OKC. I have had great success with the esports program, with every team I've played on, for the most part, reaching playoffs, and I participate as the captain of 3 teams, both of Overwatch, Valorant, and CSGO. For OSSM, it is a great program that I have enjoyed. It has allowed me to take classes that I would otherwise not be able to at EHS, such as Calculus BC and Physics C Mechanics. I've met a great amount of people between these programs that I call my good and friends, good and comfortable friends. As of now, my plans are to attend the University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, which is the number 1 for my major, which is nuclear physics and nuclear physics and engineering. I'm planning to go in for my bachelor's and then go back in for my doctorates whenever I can. As of now, although I'm unsure of how I'm going to pay for it, I am very happy with the fact that I've been accepted to such a high school. Now, I would like to take a moment as I'm ending my speech to thank everybody here, as well as all of the faculty at EHS. That is both the janitors, lunch ladies, teachers, counselors, principals, everybody here at this board, everybody in general who has participated towards making a warmer and kinder experience for those of us at EHS. I thank you.
Congratulations. Mr. Liddell, that's the number one valedictorian of the graduating class of how many?
A few still being solidified, Dr. Darrell, but 470, 480 somewhere in
Number
there.
one
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
470. That's quite an
Pretty
accomplishment.
big numbers. And can I also pitch that he's also a top recruiting man for OSSM. He's already done his own version, then he's joining on Wednesday with another recruiting for them. So nothing speaks into our kids like a fellow student who's an absolute stud. So proud of you, Lon. Well done.
Our next recognition is going to be for our EPS Cares program, and I'm going to ask Miss Sally Grimes and Amy Caldwell to come join me. Courtney Roos is the director of our program, and she is ill this evening, so Sally graciously agreed to say some things. So I'm going to let Sally visit with us.
I want to start by saying thank you to the district for recognizing our centers tonight. This honor truly belongs to our teams. National accreditation is the highest recognition a child care program can receive. The process was about a year long and required us to look closely at everything we do, from our classrooms and curriculum to our policy, staff development, and family partnerships. It pushed us to reflect, grow, and ensure that we are giving children the very best. This was absolutely a team effort. Our teachers worked incredibly hard, supported one another, and stayed committed to excellence every step of the way. We could not be more proud of them. With the recent changes in state regulations, earning accreditation also allows us to maintain our 5-star rating. Our goal is to provide the highest quality of care possible, and earning accreditation is a reflection of that commitment. We are grateful for the district's support and proud to represent Enid Public Schools at this level. Thank you.
And Sally is the assistant director at Prairie View, and Amy, I drew a blank. Amy is the assistant director at Garfield. So we really are proud of them. This is some of their staff that's come to join them. So while I take their picture, Mr. Rader, is there anything else you want to tell us about EPS Cares?
Well, I'm just super proud of all of the employees of EPS Cares. One of the things that Sally did not mention is there were 219 standards that they had to be 100% on, and that is on top of the state standards. So those national standards were met by these ladies, and this is an awesome thing. And then the 5-star rating, I think this accreditation allows us to maintain that for 3 years. So this is a really big deal, and it ensures that our employees' children are getting the top-notch care that they deserve. So we appreciate everything that they do.
I agree. And ladies, I appreciate you coming out here tonight, because it's where it starts with you all being here tonight, or being here every day. So thank you for coming out, and appreciate everything you do every day.
And as a grandma that had kids at EPS Cares, thank you, because they have done awesome. And our last recognition, I'm going to ask Mr. Mills to come and introduce Miss Kayla Dixon.
Good evening, everyone, board members, Dr. Darrow. It is my honor to present to you Kayla Dixon. Kayla has been selected as the Oklahoma Coaches Association Region 1 Athletic Trainer of the Year. Just real quick about how that process works. We have meetings periodically, and she was nominated, and the coaches from the region, coaches, administrators, superintendents vote, and they voted for Kayla. So just really quick, a few things about Kayla that stand out to me in my mind. She's been with our district for 13 years. She has taught pre-K and in middle school, and then several years at the high school. She covers almost every athletic event. That's lots of time, but also just daily time with the kids, daily treatments, late nights, juggling personalities of our coaches, and she talks to us about weather, she talks to us about our rank 1 paperwork. We all know those things, and so just in visiting with her back here, she loves being behind the scenes. But the behind the scenes people make the events happen, and so I present to you Kayla Dixon. She's Athletic Trainer of the Year, OCA Region 1. Congratulations.
She doesn't want to say anything. She's okay.
Just thank you for inviting me.
We are super proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And that's it for me.
All right, that takes us to item 2, audience to visitors. We have none this evening. So then item 3, superintendent's report. Dr. Darrow.
Okay, we're going to start off superintendent's report just like we do almost every month, and that's with a strategic plan report. And this month we're going to be reporting over goal area 3, culture and community. Objective 1, which was increase positive student behavior. I've got a small army with me here tonight that's going to help me cover this material. This might be one of the longer reports that you guys have because we've got a lot of information we need to cover. Tonight I've got Mrs. Jarnigan, Mrs. Gregory, Mrs. Patterson's back there. I can see her, Mr. Bartnick, and Mr. Liddell. So we've got good representation from the elementary up to the middle school and the high school. And I'm going to kick this off. Objective number 1, everybody should have a 3-page document, and I'm going to start with the front page. And that is number 1, positive learning environment. Research and create learning climate surveys for teachers and students at the elementary and secondary levels. Teacher survey data will have the current status of learning climates from students in the classroom, and the student survey data will find the perception of their perspective, the experiences of themselves and their classmates. So our next task is that we are going to create a climate survey for our teachers. This will be distributed in May. It'll be for all certified staff members, and this survey will be part of their checkout for the summer, which will be due on their checkout list on May 15th. The student survey will be distributed the last 2 weeks of April, hopefully once state testing is over with. And we're going to be surveying the 4th and 5th graders for the elementary grades, the 6th, 7th, and 8th for the middle school, and then the 9th, 10th, and 11th for the high school. And you may ask, well, why aren't we surveying the 12th graders? We actually, Mr. Liddell pointed out, we actually already have a Enid High School survey that's part of their exit survey and their ICAP. So that will be item number 1 on positive learning environment. Number 2, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Gregory.
Okay, number 2 is provide professional development for teachers and administrators focused on survey results. And it says classroom management, setting the landscape, and learning by doing, maximizing student engagement. And so we're going to use the student learning surveys that will help drive the building, let me start again. The student survey results will help building principals to drive decisions to enhance student engagement opportunities for next year. And the staff survey results will assist building administrators with professional development initiatives for the upcoming school year to include new teacher orientation, back to school professional development days, and other professional development days that are embedded in the school calendar.
Perfect.
All right, and I have investigate positive behavior system options and determine which would be the most relative. So the ones that are currently being used in Enid Public Schools are behavior solutions, and these are on the back side of your handout,
Yep,
right?
last page. Yes,
Last
ma'am.
page. So the last page has a list of which schools are using which ones. So behavior solutions, conscious discipline, great expectations, live school, and Ron Clark system are some that we're using, and that's just a breakdown of what schools are using which things.
Perfect. Let's go to page 2. Mr. Bartnick's going to talk to us about parental support.
How are you doing? So parental support, we had the 5 criteria listed. Communicate student behavioral expectations to all parents. All sites create a list of parent engagement events, encouraging all parents to participate. Number 3, schedule parent-teacher night and other parent engagement nights and share the calendar event on all social media. Number 4, schedule and promote Parent University and distribute parental resources to all parents. And number 5, track attendance for all parental engagement nights and Parent University. So in order to meet the criteria of all 5 of those above, the following will be completed by each site principal. In late July and early August of each school year, back-to-school information will be distributed to parents. The back-to-school information will include, but is not limited to, the following: a student's behavioral expectations for the school year. A scheduled list of all major school events will be listed out for parents and families. A detailed list of all parental resources and opportunities to be provided. All parent-teacher conference attendance will be tracked. And then all volunteers will also be tracked and recorded.
Thank you, sir. Okay, on to the next page, Student Connections. I think Mr. Liddell and Ms. Patterson is going to tag team that.
Yeah, I'm going to pass to Ms. Patterson in a second, but guys, on the front end, the Student Connections, I'm going to go slightly off script. Dr. Darrell will reel me in a second. But coming from a background where, now granted it was 30 years ago, but I used to get a bus across town, 2 different buses across town, 3 nights a week, to be able to train and to have facilities and to have access across a big city, and that was from a relatively young age, and I had a great family support as well. I'm not whining about that, but I spent a lot of time on buses, and to come a place where we have such good in-school athletics, in-school music, in-school speech, debate, drama, FFA, aviation, and I know I'm rattling on, kind of making it huge for Enid High, but there's so many opportunities for our kids to do it in a timely fashion and still go out and work and do all these pieces. The fact we've got our strength and conditioning courses built into our school days now, it's special. So from the guy who's kind of at the helm in a huge campus in our district, I think it's so important. As much as we're driving all of our academics, this piece really talks to my heart. So I had to give you that little piece to say how deeply we feel about this. But number 3 is Student Connections, and we're ultimately looking to provide opportunities for students to belong to different extracurricular activities through completion of the pre-enrollment form. So we've made it super slick. Some kids, it was getting to us. We started a principal's advisory group, and Dr. Darrow had started it, and then it filtered down to me, and some of the feedback was, hey, as freshmen we weren't that involved, and as sophomores we started to get involved, and juniors, yeah, we're involved now and we carry on. We were like, no, the kids have to hit the ground running to truly get them involved. So it's part of our pre-enrollment program now, and then we've started a really neat, and we just had at the end of January, 8th grade tour, which was kind of traditional, but now there's an elective fair, and it's student ran and it's student empowered, so they're making the speeches, they're connecting with the kids, they're building the handouts. So for us as an administrative and educational leaders, we're passing on to the kids to say, help the younger ones, you're the connection here. I'm just the old guy in the corner, but I'm going to support you guys however we can. That's been super powerful, and we're going to try and make that better each year, truly bolster it, and go from there. Further down there, you'll see that there was a parent meeting as well, and then we've also built a really neat website, and I'll share that to you guys. Through Dr. Darrell, I'll get that sent on to you guys, and if you scroll down in that website, it really makes things come alive and gets people excited to say, don't just come and say, maybe I'll try something. Let's get you involved right away. With that, there's a really neat set of videos. Please check those out. Students made those videos, and some of them were kind of almost ad hoc, like, hey, I just appeared in that class and we took video and we turned it into this really cool advert for each class. So when you check all that out, it was all for a reason, and it's very real. It's not just a dog and pony show, and it's very, very good connections to our kids. Parent meeting was super powerful, well attended, and again, try and get the families hooked and understand everything that's going on. And then each year we typically have the traditional Enid High School freshman orientation, which is typically the day or possibly 2 days before the first day of school. It's great. The kids get to meet their teachers, they float around a little bit, they get a feel for the building, and they get shown some of the ways. Well, on top of that this year, Principals Advisory Council again are looking to build, which tied right in with the strategic plan, can we actually have almost like a boot camp? It's where we have something maybe a couple of weeks earlier, help teach some of the traditions, show how we operate, whether it's at games or whether we're walking the halls, how things work at lunch, and have a little more of a relaxed atmosphere so the students coming to freshman orientation, it's not just one and then, I'm going to Enid High. They've really kind of had this nice transition program. So I know that was a lot, but it's very strategic. And guys, my heart goes out because I really feel when kids are connected to us, there's a bond. As a 20-plus year head coach at Enid High, we can move mountains when the kids believe that they're representing the Pacers and Plainsmen in our community. So that's me.
All right, for middle school, as we prepare to send students on from, or get kids from the elementary schools and then send them on to the high school, we are going to do a lot of the same things. We have gone over, principals and counselors have gone over to our 5th grade sites and visited with the students about enrollment. We've taken a PowerPoint over and just visited with them about the electives and just all the different offerings and explained how middle school is different than the high school. Is different than elementary school. And then we are going to host 5th grade parent nights at our sites. So those parents can come in too, because I know there's a lot of questions and there's a lot of fear when they're sending their babies off to middle school. And so we're going to open that up and invite the parents to come in and just be a part of that night and learn all about our electives. And then at every site, we will, in the beginning of the school year, have a back to school meet the teacher night like we always do.
Something else Jennifer did that was really great was she brought a former Hayes student to come talk to our 5th graders. And I thought that was really, just throwing that in there, that was really a nice connection where they saw someone they knew from our building who came and talked to them. So just throwing that in there. So my next part is educate staff on identification criteria, referral process, and how to serve at-risk students, which is really important to us. So one of the ways we're going to do that is principals will address that topic during our back to school PD. It'll also be covered during new teacher orientation for new teachers. Also, mentor teachers will cover those procedures with brand new teachers to the district. And then a really valuable program we have, or people we have in our system now, is our family resource coordinators. So we're going to use those. We also all have site care teams that will monitor any of our at-risk students and track their progress and anything they need throughout the school year.
And the last thing for me, the very bottom of the page, is integrate restorative circles and conferences to address conflicts and reduce punitive discipline measures. This was some of the feedback that came back to us whenever there was a long-term suspension. A lot of times, unfortunately, those students were forgotten about. So we've implemented some steps that we're going to implement next year to make sure that student is successful while they're serving their suspension. Again, some of the bullets down there below: a plan for students and families to access the current assignments and the ongoing curriculum, contact information for all teachers, counselors, and administrators. The student and family will then meet with the administrative team upon the reentry date. And then the last one, when possible, a mentor student will be assigned to ease the transition back into school. That came to a head through a lot of conversations, feedback during our strategic plan, that we need to make sure we're following up with those kiddos that are serving those suspension and they don't fall through the cracks. So I'm going to recap this real quick and then open up for questions from the board. You can expect a survey to all students coming out in late April, a survey to all staff. That will be part of the checkout process in May, and then those surveys will help drive professional development this summer and whenever we come back to school. I've just touched on the long-term suspension policy that we'll be tweaking this summer, and the last thing is just continually making pre-enrollment and making sure our students are aware as they make that transition from 5th to 6th grade and from 8th to 9th grade. Saying all that, board members, do you have any questions for the team? No? Awesome. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight. Appreciate it. Thanks for your feedback too. I think our next meeting is March 2nd. Is that right? March 2nd. All right. Okay. Moving along, we'll go to the next item on superintendent's report, which is item B, and that has to do with the high school, and that is virtual days. A virtual day that will be upcoming on April 1st. You should have a flyer there at your handout, or excuse me, a handout there at your area. And as you'll see, we're going to have a virtual day for all of our freshmen and sophomores because we're going to need all hands on deck to administer that ACT. Our high school seniors will be going out to NOC that day. I will just say, as a previous high school principal, that day is a big day and we need as many hands on deck as possible. Testing runs from early that morning through lunch and then finishes up that afternoon. Mr. Liddell's also got a plan for the seniors as well. And interestingly enough, there's actually a Senate Bill 1630, and I put that on there on your packet for your reading if you'd like to read it. But this is something that not just Enid High School is struggling with. This is all schools across the state of Oklahoma. It's just such a big day that we have to honestly push pause a little bit for the rest of our students to get that administered. Mr. Liddell, you want to chime in anything else? Did I hit every topic there?
I think Dr. Darrow, you nailed it, but it was one of those that we have had kids testing in kind of en masse, so to speak. Bunch of kids in the gym, bunch of big areas, and we just felt it wasn't the best testing environment for kids. And if we want them to be successful and not just check the box that we got it done, and of course we're going to do it by the state laws, but we said no, let's set the kids up for the success that they can possibly have. And we felt that smaller class sizes, individuals, in each room was a far better opportunity to do that without other moving parts, inadvertent bells going off, different things, noises, things. Just if we can get everyone else out the building, those who are testing, our junior class, it's a huge administration and all the different moving parts, all the nuances. We can have so many hands on deck and have a really, really good shot at that. There's still some other testing, kids that have some extended testing time, etc., that still go on other days, but that April 1st day will be a huge piece for us to get a lot of kids taken care of in a very positive way.
Appreciate the legwork on that. Let's make sure we have the best testing environment possible for our kids.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys.
Any questions, board members? If not, I'll just keep going. Let's go to item C, student enrollment. Got a handout there for you. Last month, our student enrollment for the district was 7063. Oddly enough, our student enrollment again today is 7063, which is good. And also got 8 pending enrollments coming too, so that number should bounce back up a little bit higher. Also, board members, if you'll take a look at that piece of paper, it's kind of got some historical data for you, where we were a couple years ago compared to now. Also, where we were at the beginning of the year to where we are currently as well. So, just for your information, continuing on enrollment, item number D is our pre-K enrollment. And Mr. Rader, Ms. Johnson, please feel free to chime in at any point in time. But that pre-K enrollment is going to start April 1st, and that will be all done completely online. And there's the parents will be able to access that through our Welcome Center. We will all be done online, just as in years past. And then the actual student placement will be June 2nd. That's what Alexa told me. Jane, Randy, you want to chime in anything?
No, I just want to encourage anyone out there listening to get those kids enrolled as soon as possible. I know we do keep our enrollment open all summer, but the earlier it's done, the better it is for everyone, because that allows us to plan and staff and just make sure you're paying attention to that information being pushed out, and we look forward to meeting your kiddos.
Mr. Rader, that's a great point, and also to Mr. Rader's point, we also have a better chance of getting that child placed at their home site before the spots fill up too. So absolutely.
Yeah, pre-K is a little bit different because it is first come, first serve across the district. So you're not necessarily guaranteed your home site, but we try to accommodate everyone we can. You're best served by getting it done early.
And if families need assistance, they can schedule an appointment. The Enrollment Center will be happy to help them with uploading documents or with the registration process. And there's a link on the website, or there will be a link on the website for them to make appointments.
Awesome. Thanks, Mr. Rader. Thanks, Mrs. Johnson. That will be starting again. That will start April 1st, which will be here before you know it. Okay. Moving on, item E, this Eisenhower update. I do not have a lot to report to you all this evening. Dr. Robinson, feel free to chime in here as well. I know Dr. Robinson and I have exchanged some emails, and Dr. Robinson has been on the portal as well, modifying our application for build. But again, we're completely done with the design work. They've accepted all that. Now we're just playing back and forth emails at the speed of government with the build. And hopefully we'll get some good news. We're one day closer to getting some good news. Sam, anything else you want to chime in?
I think the one key thing to mention is there's been no question about the design of the school, which to me is the most critical portion of what we did. The questions have all been things like, are we impacting the environment at Vance Air Force Base, working through those processes. We had a send another little letter in. They wanted to tweak the budget a little bit as far as the contingency goes. They just split it into 2 different programs, so didn't even change the dollar amount. So to me, those are all positive developments. Dr. Darrow said it best, we're moving at the speed of government. As soon as the government gets caught up, we'll be right there waiting on
We're
them.
ready.
That's right.
We're ready. We're one day closer. Okay, any questions on Eisenhower, board members? All right, wish I had some more to report, but that's where we're at today. Okay, item F is an action item, and I definitely seek your approval. As you guys know, House Bill 3958 limits the platforms that we can communicate with our students. Essentially, Remind is the platform that a lot of our coaches and directors and teachers use to communicate with our students. And Remind is going away come July 1, and we are going to make the transition to Parent Square starting July 1. We looked at several other platforms. We chose on Parent Square. So to kind of get the head start, we'd like to implement Parent Square this spring, just to start working out the kinks, so to speak. And then that way, July 1, we can have a better seamless transition. So essentially, board members, you should have a packet there at your area. We're going to continue with all the communication platforms that we currently have, but I seek your approval to add Parent Square just to make sure we're following state law.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? No discussion, we'll vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
Chad Mance? Yes.
Thank you for that, and we will start implementing that as we come down the home stretch of the school year. Okay, item G is another action item, and it will be the conclusion of the superintendent's report. And it is discussion and possible action to approving high school's football team to play an independent schedule for the 2026 and 27 football season. This will be pending the OSSA's appeal on Wednesday, February 18th, 2026. So as I begin to talk about this, I'd like to have Mr. Mills and Coach Elrick come to the podium too to answer any questions board members you might have, and to also add input to anything I skip over. This topic's a very big topic. This has been a lot of discussion that we have talked about for several months now. And board members, you should have a piece of paper at your area that outlines how we've done in the last 8 years at 6A1, and we've struggled to get over the hump. I think everyone can acknowledge that. The pros for going independently to an independent schedule would be the ability to schedule some games we feel we could be more competitive in, and eliminate some games that we feel like we couldn't be competitive in. The cons would be that we would forego and not be able to compete towards a state championship. We think the pros outlie the cons. We feel that this would be a good opportunity for us to build up our numbers, get more competitive with some wins, and continue development from middle school up. Again, your action tonight does not mean this is going anywhere, because we still have to go appeal to the OSSA on Wednesday. And there's a good possibility the OSSA could deny us at that point. So part of the application with the OSSA was that we got board approval, which is why it's on the agenda tonight. I think it speaks volumes that the board supports where we are and what we think is best. And the last thing I want to say, I'm going to turn over these two gentlemen, is I just want everyone to know that this is not Mr. Mills' idea, Coach Elrick's idea, Mr. Liddell, Dr. Robinson, Mr. Rader, myself. This is everyone. We've all collectively thought about this long and hard. I can assure you there's been a lot of lost sleep over this decision, but ultimately I think this puts our kids in best position to be competitive, and for Coach Elrick to lead his staff be more competitive. And again, not official. This will be pending OSSA's approval on Wednesday. But gentlemen, you'd like to chime in anything I might have missed over there?
Go ahead.
I think the important thing is, a lot of sleepless nights and a lot of debate and a lot of back and forth. And Dr. Darrow hit it on the head, acting on behalf of what's best for that 16, 17, 8-year-old guy that's taken the field, what's in his best interest. And then number two, what springs us forward a year, 2 years from now to get a foothold and be a competitive program. And after a lot of discussions, we feel like this is the best plan.
Yeah, I'd just like to add that this was a difficult decision that we talked about for a long time, and there's a lot of us that are really competitive, and we would never want to go down this road. The plan is not to leave the OSSAA. It's a plan to return to the OSSAA and give our kids really some hope. It is really what we're doing with this. And I know that the Enid community will get behind our kids. I've seen it a million times, and so it's really a chance to give us some relief and some hope to get back to where we're competing.
Any questions, board members?
I have a question. If we go this route, is there a certain amount of years that we have to stay this route, or can we ask 2 years?
2 years is what the application is.
My second question is, as far as students looking at college and playing football, does this change the way colleges would look at them?
It absolutely does, in a positive way.
Okay.
And make no mistake, I'm in no way apologetic about this decision, because I feel like it is by far and away the best call we can make, and I'm excited about it. As far as affecting kids' college opportunities, if you're a junior in high school, you need to be pushing film out right now. You need to be attending camps. You need to be doing those things. And if you get an opportunity to show yourself in a competitive game, playing really well, and showcase that, that's a plus. Because here's how colleges are going to evaluate film. They've got a big board, and it's loaded with players, and they're constantly getting fed film. So they're not going to sit there and dig through a ton of data. They're not going to watch 15 or 20 minutes of film. They're not going to watch 8 minutes of film. They're going to watch 5 plays. And if you can sting them with 5 plays and show off, then you move on. And if you can't, then you can't. But it's really a pretty simple process when it comes to the college thing. So I think this actually benefits that, because it gives them a chance to showcase.
That makes sense. Thank you very much for that.
Did they detail the initial denial and why?
They said that we did not meet criteria, and I asked them about that, and they did not go any further than that. There's 9 schools, I believe, 9 schools that have filed to appeal to go independent. I believe, I'm not speaking for the OSSA, but I believe all 9 were declined. I don't know any more reasoning than that. They just said we didn't meet criteria. So Wednesday will be interesting. Wednesday will be an interesting conversation.
Assuming they say no again, do we have a next step option?
No, if they say no again, then we're in the plugged-in district. We're going to go forward. We're going to do the absolute best we can. I would like to also say that Coach Elrick's hit the ground running with our non-district schedule, which has got us three more competitive games. I believe it's Ponca City.
We've actually got 4 on the schedule right now. Week 0, Ponca, Midwest City, week 1, Putnam City West, week 2, and then Bartlesville, week 3. So
Yeah.
0, 1, 2, and 3. So there's 4 there, and then it kind of gets based on how the appeal goes. If we are granted independent status, we'll play those 4 games. Now we're already in a district that has 7 games in it, so that's 11. So we'd automatically get to pull one of those out to get to 10. Now then, if we're denied and we play our schedule, one of those first 4 will have to go.
Right.
Because you have to play those 7, district games at that point.
Move we approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Who did you get with? Joe? Okay, Matt Sampson with the second. Is there any discussion? No discussion, let's vote. Matt Lohman?
Yes.
Joe Blackwood?
Yes.
Randy Long?
Yes.
Kim Tinius?
Yes.
Tori Turnbow?
Yes.
Matt Sampson?
Yes.
And Chad Mance? Yes.
Well, thank you for your approval, board, and thank you, Coach Elrick, Mr. Mills, for being here tonight. Thank you for that. And again, we will go down Wednesday morning. We will state our case, and we will live with the outcome, no matter what it may be. And I'll be in touch in communication. And that concludes the superintendent's report.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Darrow. Takes us to item 4A, discussion possible action to approve the following consent agenda items. That is items 1 through 5.
Move we approve.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, we'll vote. Matt Loman,
Yes.
Joe Blackwood,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow,
Yes.
Matt Sampson,
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay, 4B, discussion and possible action to approve the district's financial report for January 2026. Dr. Robinson.
All right, this month on finance, just want to talk about the general fund a little bit because December to January is a big collection month on local ad valorem. Just so you guys are aware, just to bring it to attention, local collections on ad valorem are about $150,000 less than last year. It's not because we've lost valuation in the district. It's because last year there was some resale of property to the county that was quite a bit higher than we've had this year. And so that's where that $150,000 difference is. It looks like this month we're trending where all that's going to get caught up and we're actually going to exceed last year's collection. So if any of you noticed that reading the report, I just want to bring it to attention. That's the why. So other than that, everything else is looking really good on the finances. Revenue expenditures are all well within the limits that I presented to you guys back in November.
Thank you.
Motion to approve?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Let's vote. Matt Loman,
Yes.
Joe Blackwood,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow,
Yes.
Matt Sampson,
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Thank you, Sam. Item C, resolution number 687. Board to consider and take action on a resolution determining the maturities of and setting a date, time, and place for the sale of the $11,680,000 general obligation combined purpose bond of the school district.
All right, I'm going to give everybody the Cliff Notes version if you're okay with that.
I like it.
All right, so I'm going to explain to you guys what bonds we've sold, what we've sold previously, and what we're going to sell this year, and it's going to be the Cliff Notes version. So I'm going to go through this. If you have more questions, stop me, and I'll give you the detail if that's what you want. So back in February 2016, the board approved $90,230,000 in bonds. We have previously sold $22,780,000. For this sale, we're going to sell an additional $10,480,000. That's work towards paying off the 2016 bonds. In April of 2024, there was $8.1 million of bonds approved. We previously sold $1.8 million of that, and we are set to sell $900,000 of that. That's our safety and security, if you remember that, and the one-to-one devices. April 2024, we approved $2.7 million in transportation bonds. Previously sold $600,000 of that, and we're going to sell $300,000 of that for student transportation. That's a total of $11,680,000. The sale is set to take place on March 31st, 2026 at 11:30 a.m. You guys do not have to report until noon. So there you have it.
Thank you.
Move we approve.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Matt Loman,
Yes.
Bill Blackwood,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow,
Yes.
Matt Sampson,
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. All right, item D, consider and approve an agreement for bond counsel services with Floyd and Driver PLLC Attorneys at Law.
These are just the attorneys that represent us through the bond process, and they are not related to Dr. Floyd, in case anybody's asking.
We say that every year.
Yeah, that's right. One day somebody will be like, who is Dr. Floyd? No, just,
They'll be suspicious when we have a Darrow.
that's right. Real question. And
Motion to approve?
Okay, we have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second from Tori. Any discussion? Okay, let's vote. Matt Loman,
Yes.
Joe Blackwood,
Yes.
Randy Long,
Yes.
Kim Tinius,
Yes.
Tori Turnbow,
Yes.
Matt Sampson,
Yes.
Chad Mance, yes. Okay, item E, discussion and possible action to approve the independent audit of fiscal year 2025 transactions for Enid Public Schools.
we're going to turn that over to Jay States.
Okay.
Come on up here, Jay.
Good evening. This is your 24-25 audit. I have my partner here, Bill Buss. There's 3 letters in this audit, 3 opinion letters. And that's because your uniform guidance, if you're spent over $750,000 in federal funds, they're uniform guidance. Next year it goes to $1 million, you'll still be uniform guidance next year. First letter is an opinion letter on the financial statements taken as a whole. It's a qualified opinion because we do not show general fixed assets. No reason to. We don't do a tax return, don't depreciation. We buy those items, expense it, use them up, surplus them, and then buy new. It's an adverse opinion because we show the financial statements in a regulatory basis, which is required by the state of Oklahoma. We don't show it in GAAP financial statements like AICPA would like us to do, but we do it, which is required by the state. Page 7 is your balance sheet. And we'll go through the general fund, special revenue, the capital projects, trust and agency. We'll go through those schedules later on in the back. It will show a breakout of, like, on the special revenue of your building fund, the co-op fund, and the child nutrition, and child nutrition's in the general fund, but municipal tax fund. We have cash and cash equivalents and investments of $30,111,000. Have warrants payable at the end of the year. These are outstanding checks. $2,959,000. Reserves for encumbrances. These are POs that were open that we had not received an invoice or had not ordered those items at the end of the year. If we don't use them up, next year on the income statement, we'll bring those funds back into the fund. $1,716,000. And have unassigned. This is the only fund we have unassigned funds. This is where we pay everything for our general operations. $25,435,000. Page 8. Again, we'll go through the general fund. We'll go to the breakout later on in the back. From all sources, we received $77,653,000 and spent $77,543,000. Almost $70,000 that went direct to the classroom. We have $110,642 of excess revenues over expenditures. Here's what we bring back in the POs that we closed out last year of $275,000, and they have a stop warrants or checks that we voided because inactive and nobody cashed them, $1,211. Total excess revenues over expenditures, $387,000. Add that to the beginning fund balance of $25,047,000. Gives us ending fund balance $25,435,128. Page 9. This is basically the same thing as page 8. The only difference is it's a budget to actual. If there would have been an increase in the budget, we'd have had to brought those funds to the board, have them approve an appropriation so we could appropriate those funds in the estimate of needs. Page 10, probably through 18 would be my guess. Yep, 18. These are your notes to your financial statement. There's a lot of good information in here. It's good that you read them, but mark your spot. You might fall asleep reading them. They're written by accountants and attorneys, and there's a lot of information in there about your fund, your revenue, your budget, types of funds that you have, basis of accounting. And then we turn over here to page 14. Well, it actually stops at the bar of 13. We have combined purpose bonds of 23, $9,645,000, payoff in July of 25. Combined purpose bonds of 24, $11,115,000. Those pay off in June of 26. $11,395,000 combined purpose bonds May 1st of 25, pay off in May of 27. Down at the bottom, we have leases with the Garfield County Educational Facilities Authority, and we're paying payments of $8,018,700. Pay off in September 24th, so those are paid off now. Now we have another lease for for fixtures and furniture and buildings pays off in September of 31. We still have payments of $64 million and interest of $13 million. If you'll turn back to page 18, talk about your employee retirement system. Again, Enid pays most of the retirement for everybody. So you expended this year for your employees, your staff, your support staff, $6,860,000 to teachers' retirement. 24, we spent $6,803,000 and $6,298,000 in 23. If you'll turn to page 19, like I said, this is a breakout on this page 7 for your balance sheet of the special revenue. It's your building fund and your municipal tax fund. We have $4,135,000 in the building fund and $1,866,000 in the municipal tax fund. We have warrants payable and reserves, reserves for encumbrances in the building fund of $456,000 and restricted $3,678,000 for a total fund balance of $4,135,000. In municipal tax, we've got warrants payable of $43,000 and restricted $1,822,000 for a total fund balance of $1,866,000. We've got 5 bonds open right now for combined cash and cash investments at $12,388,000. We have reserves for encumbrances, $213,000 in bond 34. And we have restricted fund balance of $12,175,000 for a total fund balance of $12,388,000. And as we finish those bonds will go away and we'll issue new bonds. Page 21, this is a breakout of page 7 of your trust and agency funds. These are your activity fund, lunch fund, gift fund, and gift and endowment fund. You won't see the revenues on the income statement because these belong to those individual accounts. Have a total $2,170,000, and we'll show a breakout of the activity funds later on in the back. We have due to activity fund groups, $1,668,000, and warrants payable $48,000, and we have restricted fund in the gift and endowment of $453,000. Page 22, this is a breakout on page 8 of your income statement for the building fund and municipal tax. We have revenues collected from all sources in the building fund of $5,552,000 and expenditures of $4,945,000. You can see, yeah, $5 million is a lot of money, but it's nowhere near what their bonds are. That's the reason why we're selling bonds to do school improvements. We're lucky to maintain with this fund what we have. Have excess revenues collected or expenditures of $607,000, adjustments or prior year encumbrances closed out of $5,173 for total excess revenues over expenditures of $612. Add that to the beginning fund balance at $3,066,000 for a total fund balance in the building fund of $3,678,000 at the end of the year. Municipal tax, we had $81,000. A lot of that's interest. We have expenditures of $43,760, and we have excess revenues over expenditures of $37,000, and an ending fund balance of $1,822,000. Page 23. This is a breakout on page 8 of your capital projects funds. Again, we sold bonds in bond 34, 35, and 39 this year for $11,395,000, and we expended $513,000 in 34, $900,000 in 35, $8,165,000 in bond 38, and bond 39, $1,769,000 for total expenditures of $11,347,000. Again, these are for your projects, what the voters voted for, we expended these funds for a total ending fund balance of $12,175,000. Page 24. This is a budget to actual for basically page 22. It's the same as page 22. The only difference Again, if we'd had monies that come in that weren't foreseen when we did the original ESPA needs, we'd have had to appropriate and come to the board to have those appropriated. Page 5 and 26. These are your activity funds. You can see there's a lot of accounts, there's a lot of people involved, a lot of hands, and a lot of fretting probably by your financial people, what happens. We look at these funds pretty hard. This is where most of this is cash that come in. They have to get receipt to students when they receive the funds. When that funds reach $100, which is going to happen pretty well on a daily basis here. The activity fund custodian receives those funds from the sponsors, and she has to make a deposit. She's the only one that can receive these funds, and the only one that can make a deposit. After that, they can get a PO, they get it approved, and then they can go purchase those items. When they get those items purchased and receive them, they sign the invoice, turn it in for payment. That way we know who to go ask if we can't find those items or know what happened to them. Again, we look at these items pretty hard because it's cash. And that's not to be mean or anything, but if we don't look at it, we've had situations where there was an opportunity and there's going to become a need and the sponsor's in trouble for it. Because it's not the school's responsibility. They didn't receive it. It's not the student's money. It's responsibility. They turn the funds in. It's that sponsor's responsibility. Page 27. This shows that our activity fund bank reconciles to the books. Page 28. This is our gift fund. Again, we received $11,881 and we spent $10,779 for an ending fund balance of $135,000. Page 29 shows that bank balances to the books. Lunch fund on page 30 and 31. Again, it zeroes out at the end of the year, and we no longer have this fund that closed that out this year, so that won't be in there next year. Page 32. This is your CFA, or your schedule of federal awards. This is the reason you have 3 letters. You received $10,424,000 this year, and we spent $11,391,000. And we had $880,000 to receive at the end of the year, and we've received those funds since then. Page 34 and 35, this is your letter on internal control. This is where we look at everything else. We look at your salaries, your teacher's retirement, your POs, your revenues, your receipts. We read your board minutes. We have to look at 40% of the federal awards because you're over that bond. And we looked at probably 70 to 80% of those expenditures. And it was a clean opinion on internal control. Page 36 and 37, this is your letter on uniform guidance. And on page 38, we have a summary. I said it's an adverse opinion because we did not show it in general accepted accounting principles. It's qualified due to we do not show general fixed assets. There is no material weaknesses, no significant deficiencies, no non-compliance, no material weaknesses identified, and no significant deficiencies. It's an unqualified opinion, and we looked at Title I, Title II, Title VI, and IDAB. Like I said, we have to look at 40% of that $11 million, and there's a lot of work goes in for your staff because your uniform guidance. And where you really wanted me to start was on the next page. There was no findings. It was a good, clean audit. We enjoyed working with your staff. They do a very good job. Thank you. Now I've got some letters to sign too.
Board members, any questions for Jay? Well, if we have no questions, definitely seek your approval.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Did someone say second? Excuse me.
Simpson.
Matt with a second. Any discussion? Okay, no discussion. Let's vote. Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Randy Long.
Yes.
Kim Tinius.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
Chad Mance. Yes. All right, takes us to item 5, new business. Any new business?
No new business. I did put a flyer out at your area. That's Percy Jackson. That's the musical that the high school is putting on this weekend. It starts here later this week. It's always a fun one. And also just want to remind everybody that their next board meeting is on March 9th, I believe. That's before spring break. Spring break moved it up a week. So just a heads up on that.
Okay. Item 6, reports, items of information, board comments, and/or questions. Anything for us, Colonel Jans?
Just wanted to say thanks to Enid High for hosting ROTC and the Air Force Academy. They hosted 4 different districts for our high school students that were interested in those briefings. And I just want to say they did an amazing job welcoming the guests, providing the theater, and supporting the event. So thank you, and hopefully we'll see some candidates there someday. So thank you.
Okay, is there any other board member that has any comments or questions? Okay, item 7, our next board meeting is March 9th, 2026 at 6 p.m. right here in this room. 8, discussion and possible action to approve a proposed executive session in room 123 to discuss the employment of those individuals and/or positions listed on the attached Exhibit A, negotiations concerning employees and/or representatives of employee groups, and possible purchase, appraisal, sale, lease, or acquisition of real property. Motion?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second with Joe. Let's vote. Matt Lohman.
Yes.
Joe Blackwood.
Yes.
Randy Long.
Yes.
Kim Tinius.
Yes.
Tori Turnbow.
Yes.
Matt Sampson.
Yes.
Chad Mance. Yes. We're in executive session. 7:11.